Hey guys, welcome back. Thought I would do a quick update on some of the equipment that I installed a couple months ago and how it's performing. So we're about 2 months in now, plus or minus, on the new saltwater generator and the new Clean and Clear Plus cartridge filter. So how's it been? Well, little learning curve for everything, right? So overall, I can say it's been awesome. It's definitely decreased my workload, especially chemicals in the pool and what I gotta maintain. So let's start with the saltwater generator. So what happened after I added all the salt to the pool? Well, a couple days later, the pool turned kind of a tea color, I guess, if you will. It's the only word I can use to describe it. And what I think happened is I used the Clorox brand salt. I don't know that there's anything inherently wrong with it. It was like $6 or $7, maybe a little bit more than that at Lowe's per bag, and I used a lot of it, so like 450 pounds of it. And I think it probably had some iron in it, and what happened is the chlorine oxidized the iron. Makes sense, right? So I had to go get a chemical. I think it's called a chelating compound or something like that. Whatever, you can get it at Leslie's, and it will bind with the metal and filter it out. And that's exactly what it did. So a couple days later, after putting an entire bottle in the pool, my pool was crystal clear again. Wasn't red tinged anymore. So that worked itself out. As for the saltwater generator itself, it has been money. So I told you guys, I bought the RJ60 Plus from Circupool, and it's way oversized for what I need, which I did on purpose. And so I was able at most times during the summer so far to turn it down to 15% generation, which should extend the salt cell life. Even when it got hot, which right now it's like 82 degrees, but last week it was like 94 degrees the entire week. Even when it got hot, I turned it up to 20 or 25, and I was able to maintain chlorination, no problem whatsoever. Never had an issue. Went on vacation for a week, nobody was maintaining the pool, came back, chemicals were money. As far as the pH balance, because that's one of the things you may read, that it's going to send your pH up because of the electrolysis process. That does happen, so I've had to put in some pH down maybe every couple weeks at best. Actually, for the last couple weeks, hasn't been an issue, but it really doesn't take much just to keep that pH on the downside. It'll creep up on you if you're not paying attention, and everything else has been perfect. Absolutely perfect. I haven't even had to shock it. I did once using a non-chlorine shock because I had some. Just to be on the safe side before I went on vacation, because our house sitter was going to be using the pool, so I wanted to make sure it was good for them. Plus, you never know what teenagers are going to do. But with that said, I didn't really need to do that. My total, or my combined chlorine's been, I don't know, like maybe a max of 0.2. So it's been great. It's been great. So I haven't had any major issues. What about the filter? Filter has also been great. Now, I've probably cleaned it more than I needed to because this was a new thing for me. So I wasn't really sure how long it was going to take, how much I was going to have to put into it. It takes me about half an hour to disassemble the thing, hose all the filter cartridges out. Remember, there's 4 of them. Four. And it doesn't take very long. I actually go a little above and beyond. I clean out the entire inside of the filter, but I've done that 3 times now. I did it once before I went on vacation, once about maybe 2 weeks before that, just to be on the safe side, and then I just did it, which was a month between cleanings, and it wasn't that dirty. So it was filtering perfectly. The pressure gauge on the top, be honest with you, didn't really tell me that much because I run it at such a low RPM. I gotta bump it up a lot in order to get any type of pressure reading on that thing. So that whole, hey, when it goes 10 psi above whatever your normal operating pressure is, doesn't really matter much to me, and it never has anyway. Even when I turn it up to full RPM, it's good to go. It never climbs more than 2 or 3 psi, which says, most likely I've got plenty of filter cartridge space left to go, and I could probably let it eat. But you know what? It doesn't hurt to be safe. So I clean it. I think we're probably going to be looking at once every 3 to 4 weeks. I could probably go more than that, but why not? It's kind of fun. It's a little bit zen for me. So I just take a little bit of time in the mornings, wipe the walls down, go ahead and skim, and then clean the filter. No big deal. Everything else has been fine. I haven't had to add a bit of additional chemicals to the pool to keep it stable. Alkalinity's been great. Calcium hardness has been great. The stabilizer, the cyanuric acid, been fine, no problems. So pH, again, is the only thing that's kind of swung one way or the other. I can't complain. It's been great. It's super easy to change. We just got, well, you might be able to see the level of the pool back there, maybe not, but we got a whole bunch of rain. So I actually had to drain some water out of the pool in order to get it back down. And we've gotten a lot of rain over the last 2 or 3 days. And even with that, my salinity level is 3,800. The chlorine generator can run between 3,000 and 4,000, over that actually, no problem. So 3,800 after taking water out, which means I was probably a little high in the first place. I've got a electronic tester, and I also bought test strips, and damned if I can get them to work right. But I think I'm where I need to be, and let me tell you, the water is perfect. The salinity really makes it a lot better on your skin. I wasn't sure about that. Now, I've been in saltwater pools, but I wasn't sure. Being a skeptic that I am sometimes, you think it's too good to be true. So it wasn't. Even the people that came over the weekend after I installed the thing, and they had been over the weekend before, they were like, wow, this is a huge difference in the way that the water feels. And yeah, I gotta be honest, it is. So would I do it again? Absolutely. I am super happy I made this decision. I wish I had made it at the beginning of the season so it didn't have to go through installing the stuff in June, but almost fell. It's okay. I'm a professional. I'm not, but I'm okay. So I'm happy. It's been great for the family. Super low maintenance as far as worrying about the chlorine and stuff like that. So if you're on the fence on either one of those things, if you're thinking about getting that cartridge filter, and again, very specific one, the Clean and Clear Plus 420, do it. I don't think you have anything to lose if money's not an issue. With the saltwater chlorinator, do it. You're gonna be happy. Make sure you size it right, make sure you follow the directions, make sure you maintain it, and keep an eye on it. I actually have cleaned the cell once already, and I didn't need to do that either. Use some muriatic acid, a diluted solution based on the instructions, and I just cleaned it to get the deposits out of there. They were starting to form a little bit. I could have let it go easily. At no point did the chlorine generator's control module tell me that I needed to clean the thing. But I figured, you know what, why not? So it looks like maybe 2 or 3 times a season I'll probably have to clean the thing. So that's pretty good too, right? I mean, yeah, it's added maintenance, but peace of mind for when I don't have to worry about chlorine tablets and all those things. And I had a friend, ironically enough, he called me not that long ago and he said, hey man, my pool's green and I can't get it to stop turning green. I've done everything. He had a SAM filter, he was putting chlorine tabs in. Now he's got like a 33,000 gallon pool, so keep that in mind, it's bigger than this one by like 13,000 gallons. But he's like, man, I am at my wit's end. He ended up calling in a pool professional to get a consultation to see what he had to do, and he's got it back to normal. Nice to know that, because I know those headaches and I felt bad for him, but we haven't even come close. I mean, this water is crystal clear, and I can open up my eyes. It's a little blurry and I wouldn't recommend it, but I can, and it doesn't sting, and I don't stink like chlorine. So again, let's recap for a second. It's not a chlorine-free pool, remember that. If you think it is, do your research, because it's not. Remember, we're creating chlorine from electrolysis, and the only difference is now I don't have to meter that out, and it does it itself. And let me tell you, it's pretty cool. And it's not maintenance free, right? So saltwater pools are not maintenance free. You still got to put in some sweat equity, and that's just, you know what, the nature of owning a pool. You don't want to do that. If you're one of those fortunate people that can afford to get a pool professional in there, I advise you to do it, because I wish I could. I wouldn't have to worry about this. I would love to come home and just plop into it, but again, I kind of make it part of my routine. This is our first year with this thing, so we're learning, and I think it's a positive thing. I think we're going in the right direction. We'll see what next year brings. The end of the swimming season is upon us. I'll probably keep it open until mid-October. We're almost at the end of August now. My kids go back to school next week. Use is going to go down dramatically except for the weekends, and it depends on the weather. So we got the heater, but I can tell you right now, I'm not going to be running it if it's 65 degrees out, because who the hell wants to get into a 65 degree air after you get out of an 85 degree pool? It's a stark contrast. This is not a hot tub. So we'll see how it goes, but I really don't know. I'm actually not too upset about putting the cover back on it. I think we had a good season. I'm super psyched with next year, because we have a whole bunch of backyard projects we're going to do. So the pool's not going to change much, but everything you see behind us is, we're going to redo the patio, make it bigger. We're going to add another pergola. We're going to put in an outdoor kitchen, and we're going to film all of it. So part of the backyard oasis. I think we've done everything we can with the pool. On a side note, before I go, because this is a fairly short video, on a side note, one of the things that I realized, So you can't really completely see it over here, but I'm holding on to my ladder. It's my pull ladder that came with it. It's the one that the builder installed. And I want to say this is 304 stainless steel. Pretty common, but it's a lower grade of stainless steel. I noticed that there's a little bit of rust forming, so I actually had to pull it out, pull the bolts out of it, and clean. And it's not typical rust. It's almost like a gelatinous compound. I don't know how to explain it, but pulled everything apart. And it wasn't in dire circumstances when I pulled it out, but it was corroding a little bit. And it was surface corrosion. I polished it out. We're good to go. I put it back together, and I put it back into the pool. And one of the things that could be also is the fact that we do have a sacrificial anode that everything is bonded to this pool runs to, so that hopefully the zinc anode is what's going to corrode first and stop the corrosion, because of the salt water. It's good for any type of pool, but salt water really, obviously, is corrosive. Part of the thing that I read is if you got a saltwater pool, and I've read a couple articles on this, you better have some high quality stainless steel in it. Why? Because 316. Well, because the lower grades of stainless steel, contrary to popular belief, they're not rust proof. Nothing's rust proof, truly. Even aluminum corrodes. It just corrodes in a different way from oxidization, and oxidization is a natural thing. But 316 stainless steel, there's other types of stainless steel that are actually better. So that might be something we end up doing next year. Be a couple $100 to replace this ladder for peace of mind, but I'm not really too worried about it. We're going to pull it out of this thing in a month and a half anyway, and we're going to store it for the winter. So we'll cross that bridge next year. But I think from here on out, the rest of what you're going to find that we're going to post, especially maybe this fall into next year as we get some of this work done, and I'm doing it all myself, is some other backyard additions that aren't the pool. So I'm looking forward to that. I hope you are too. We still got our golf cart videos coming. I just haven't had time to work on it. Anyway, thanks for watching. You stay classy, and I will see you soon, I promise.